do a double take 1,000 times a day. No matter where I go, I always think I just saw your face. Pussycats on the road, she can make you lose control. If you wanna let her prolophone, don't laugh, but you should know that she can throw you down. She can make you laugh. She's the one that tear your fire down. So what you waiting for? Think about it, baby. Oh, so please don't stop. But you gotta be ready to submit to her love.
identical and we don't think the same. It's too lame how you contain yourself, but you don't see me complaining, man. I'm rapping cause I can't, I'm capable. Ain't too difficult to understand, I mean, damn. Just cause I'm a punk, I'm a joke. You're just another sad case that I can easily provoke. And you're promoting my shit by telling your boys I suck. 2 months later, they're bending down to kissing my chucks. I'm a schmuck. So what? And did it ever make a difference? Doesn't matter what I look like as long as it's nice shit you listen to. Boo-hoo. Stop crying, little baby, you're upsetting me. So shut the hell up on me and blow me. Yeah, you're never gonna give me a chance. So get out of my way and leave me alone. Ignore what I have to say and what I play. Don't ask me why I stray away and why I'm not okay. I can go one way and be accepted. I can go the other way and be accepted, but I wouldn't be happy living a lie. So fuck everyone else, I wanna live my life. Corruption and greed, the world is plagued to rot. Reminiscing and thinking why I never stood and fought. Why the human race lets the evil subvert the side of them. Money, wars of fascism, removal of humanity's chip. You wonder if it's a test to see how straight. Or if it's just another payback with more pay. Your disappointed face look down at me and frown, saying how you gonna be successful as a dropout. I told you to leave me alone, I'll manage my own. I'll never be like you, just another worthless clone. It all works for the cause to live the life I want and need. I never let society cast and mold me, but this is my only life, I live it to the fullest. Do the shit I want to, regardless of opinions. If I get in trouble, at least I have fun. Who knows, might be worth it in the motherfucking long run. I can go one way and be accepted. I can go the other way and be accepted, but I wouldn't be happy living a lie. So fuck everyone else, I wanna live my life. I can go one way and be accepted. I can go the other way and be accepted, but I wouldn't be happy living a lie. So fuck everyone else, I wanna live my life. Terror's too much. You tell me that the jacket's too rough. You tell me the change your image is too confusing for the masses to even get the grip of. Easy motherfucker, I don't care what you think. I'ma keep on doing this till I run out of drinks. Yeah, I'm fucking drunk, you can smell it on my breath. And if you keep talking shit, I'ma put you to death. I can go one way and be accepted. I can go the other way and be accepted, but I wouldn't be happy living a lie. So fuck everyone else, I wanna live my life. I can go one way and be accepted. I can go the other way and be accepted, but I wouldn't be happy living a lie. So fuck everyone else, I wanna live my life.
Everything under the sun going to hell in an episode of SNL. Busted on the TV, you ugly girl, you cannot sing, can't even lip sync. Apparently money can even buy you dignity. Everyone will forget in a couple of days. It doesn't matter what they say in the press, I guess. Am I the only one feeling the itch? Guess they're giving away the Billboard Awards to some phony little. So what would you know about how your song goes? Just let that tape move. So many faces, so many people are coming and stupid, and all they wanna do is get in. I know that your parents are brother and sister, and idiots. Let the hunting begin. Let the hunting begin. Let the hunting begin. Let the hunting jellyfish smile, contemplating all the choices she made. I have to admit, when she decided she would leave, you couldn't wipe the smile off of my face. She finally found her way home to find that all she loved is gone. Pictures of herself on the walls, wearing nothing, I guess just to try to fit in. You have to agree, she was all 6 of the time, but the doesn't ever run up to town. She finally found her way home to find that all she loved is gone. No, the crazy bitch would never back down and didn't sure admit that she would cheat on her man. The word was getting round, it was time to leave town. She took a hit and unexpectedly wrong. She finally found her way home to find that all she loved is gone. She finally found her way home to find that all she loved is gone. I know I planted flowers, but look around at all my ways. I don't play well with others, the thought occurred it might be me. I'm so bitter and I can taste it. I'm not allowed to live, but I'm not allowed to stay. Everything is free, what to say I gotta pay. Ask me what I think, cause I got a lot to say. I know it's gonna hurt, but there is no other way. I'll try till I die to break what's yours and take what's mine. Envy is a problem and karma knows where you live. You will not consume me, I'll throw you out before I kill. I'm so bitter I can taste it. I'm not allowed to live, but I'm not allowed to stay. Everything is free, what to say I gotta pay. Ask me what I think, cause I got a lot to say. I know it's gonna hurt, but there is no other way. and look around at all my ways. I don't play well at all, cause I'm not afraid of my baby. I'll try till I die to break what's yours and take what's mine. I'll try till I die to break what's yours and take what's mine. There's a penny on the floor and you're gone. The television's on. Have you found another man to take my place? There's a penny on the floor and I'm wise. I try to see in your eyes, but all I see is a reflection of my face. There's a penny on the floor and you're gone. I'm trying to right what's wrong. A stronger man might do it with more grace. There's a penny on the floor and I'm wise. I look up to the skies. I cry and pray and I stare out into space. There's a penny on the floor and you're standing at the door. Turn around and say goodbye. A woman like you comes around just once a life. There's a penny on the floor and I'm strong. I'll try to carry on. Realize that no one can take your place. There's a penny on the floor and I'm fine. I know it's gonna take some time before I look at you without looking at my own face. A penny on the floor. I'm tired of the war. A penny on the track. Are you coming back? There's a penny on the floor and it stays. There's a tribute to the days that were spent with you. No one can take them away. There's a penny on the floor and it stays as a tribute to the ways it filled my soul with courage, hope, and grace. There's a penny on the floor and you're standing at the door. Turn around and say goodbye. A woman like you comes around just once a life.
strange about the way you say my name. You feed your ego with my worry and my pain. What was I thinking when I begged you not to leave? I'd rather die than stay with you and throw away my dignity. Another breath, another stupid reason why. I smell your venom as you feed me another lie. You claim now if I leave the pain you cannot bear. Please excuse me if I ruin your plans. You had your chance, now I don't care. Get out, now go away. I'm not your baby doll, I'm just some girl you want to control. Get out, get out of here, get out, go away, just go. I'm not your baby doll, I'm just some girl you want to control. Get out of here, go away, just go. The same old story with a very different view. I'm somewhat tempted as you slither into my room. Your charming ways do not affect me anymore. Your overconfidence is something I can't ignore. Untie this leash around my neck so we can play. Don't turn your back up right now, you can fucking go away. Get out, now go away. I'm not your baby doll. I just smell like tape in my soul. You make my eyes now I'm falling. The light you way you live. Run away, go home, leave me alone. Watch my tears fall. I'm ready to crawl under the smoke. You blew in my heart. Dead dark. One day, 1 minute, 1 way, 1 second of my life just take away. You let me here suffering down on my knees, pull that please. I can't stand up anymore. Wanna breathe in deeply and roar, but if I do, I lose a battle and a war. And now my sofa slowly dying inside. My eyes are fried from all the tears that I cried. Didn't know you leave me here to lie. Didn't know you wanna leave me high and dry. Now I sit here and I ask myself, why did you have to give up and say goodbye? The last time the dark will get to me. In the end, they'll remember the Queen Bee MC. Now I know that we don't both agree, but you're leaving me now when I guess he set free. Run away, go home. Simple dark. Run away, go home. Wash my tears. The simple dark. You turn everything I need. Keep on going, can't keep from knowing. I just keep going down the same old way. Keep playing my games, keep singing the same. But I'm caught up in my own way. That's who I'm playing now. That's who I'm playing I pushed it all away. I put everything I had in the past right out. Didn't really know what to say. I just know that I wanted everything right now. And I didn't ever think that it mattered. Didn't ever really think through. Never wanted to imagine never be a soul for me, and I'm putting it behind. I'm taking me a chance, holding on to everybody you that I can. I put everything behind me, and I close the door, let it go, watch it all just fade away. I left everything I could be for something more. You were all I need, the life in me. You got me through the hardest times, and you always tried to be there, tried to hold me, and you tried to console me every time you knew I frowned. I'm going down a hill so steep, but if you're with me, then I know I'll never fall. I'll never stop what we're gonna be. I'll never stop reaching for it all. Don't wanna fight, don't wanna play games, locked up tight. All my dreams are with you. Every time I even think about it, I start to feel like my hopes have come true. You're the one that's trying to be the one dying to be set free. Now you know what I'm thinking. I'ma show you what I need. Give you every little part that I'm trying to be. I put everything behind me. I close the door, let it go. Watch it all just fade away. I left everything I could do for something more. You were all I need, the life in me.
I don't know where I'd be. You've become a part of me, and I can't carry on without you.
I don't know where I was. You've become the one I trust, and I can't carry on without you. I put everything behind me. I close the door, let it go. Watch it all just fade away. I left everything I could do for something more. You were with me.
Oh, baby.
Think how it feels to fly high, 'cause that's something you can't buy. The floaty version of truth isn't good enough anymore. And the ones that always don't mistake of dying young. And we're the ones who are still having fun. And culturally programmed to only catch if you cast. The floaty version of truth isn't good enough anymore. And the ones that always don't mistake of dying young. Baby, we're the ones who are still having fun. Cause that's something you can't buy. The floaty version of
What about my hair? What about my t-shirt? Don't it make you stop and stare? What about my daisies? What about my thighs? I see you looking, let me tell you about my pussycats on a roll. She can make you lose control. You don't wanna let her crawl up on your lap, but you should know that she can stroke you down. She can make you laugh. She's gonna wanna tear your body down. So what you waiting for? You can't stop staring. I see your eyes. I know it makes you crazy. Wanna take me for a ride? Here's my suggestion, a subtle tip. Just pour the milk and put some catnip on your lip. My pussycat's on a roll. She can make you lose control. If you wanna let her crawl up on your lap, but you should know that she can stroke you down. She can make you laugh. She's gonna wanna tear your body down. So what you waiting for? What you waiting for? Think about it, baby. Don't be so shy. My pussycat's on a roll. She can make you lose control. If you wanna let her crawl up on your lap, but you should know that she can stroke you down. She can make you laugh. She's gonna wanna tear your body down. So what you waiting for? Think about it, baby. Oh, don't be so shy. But you gotta be ready to submit to her
you wanna get started with me? Don't understand that mentality now. So you think that you're ready to throw, licking your lips, so come on now, let's go. Well, I've been fighting my time, but you're forcing the line. Yeah, you're staring me down like I won't come around. And I'm talking my eyes.
Well, all right then. Hey, and good afternoon, everybody. And trying to get some of this worked out, like some of these little kinks and such. Figure it out all eventually. It'll all happen. See if that works. Oh, that's much better. All right, so welcome everybody to. Well, this is still going to be pretty much a test show. Really, it's just going to be kind of a little bit different than what, you know, hopefully will end up being. Like I said, I'm still trying to work out some of the kinks. So, anyways, welcome to you. My name is Eric, and I'm going to be your host for today. We're going to be here for the next hour. We're going to talk about a variety of different things. If you saw my post from earlier, you will know that it's, there. Oh, so much better. That was really loud. I don't know if it was loud for you guys, but in my headphones, like, it was, like, rushing me. But anyways, if you saw my post from earlier today, we got some topics we're going to cover, going from films to watch during this whole coronavirus thing that we're going through, things that we missed, and also some things to look forward to. We also have a visual poem coming up by a poet, his name is Andrew Gutierrez, so we're going to do that. And we're also going to talk about some stuff that we got coming up. Starting tomorrow will be like an official show. That'll be kind of cool because that's going to be one of those where, you know, we're going to really kind of ramp up and do like a live thing. So tomorrow will be myself. I'll be joined by Ryan Manley, and I'll also be joined by Elizabeth Ellis, and we'll be discussing a variety of different things in the world of filmmaking. Since I've actually used to do an online radio show, not quite like this, but, you know, similar. A lot has changed in my life as far as everything kind of goes. When I say that, back in the day, I used to be an online radio show host, and very proud of it. Had a lot of good times. We'll probably end up showing some stuff throughout the course of doing this. Not today, but, you know, as we continue to do this. My plan is to pretty much try to do this Monday through Friday. Kind of depending on the time, it may vary. It may just solidify, hey, at 1 o'clock Eastern, that might be the time that I end up doing it. I just don't know. We're also going to be showing some. Movies, some TV series, all kinds of stuff. I've actually put a call out earlier today for people to go who want to have their films being screened on our channels. Then we're going to be able to do that. We have our own stuff that we're going to be showing, including this Saturday night, Secluded. We're going to be seeing that this Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and it's a fundraiser, technically speaking. So it's not going to be just put out there for everybody to watch. We may do that eventually for Secluded. But the reason why he's doing it as a fundraiser is because he's trying to raise money. Me and Ryan Manley, the writer director of the film, he's going to be trying to raise some funds. And the reason why he's going to be trying to raise some funds is because he wants to put it into film festivals and such. And obviously that costs money. And Ryan is he's a young guy. He's 18. He's in high school. He's about to finish up high school. And that sort of thing. And, hey, everybody's got to go somewhere, right? So, with that being said, this Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be showing Secluded. So, if you want to go and buy a ticket, you can go onto Ryan Manley Films Facebook page, and you can purchase a ticket to come and see the film Secluded. It is rated R, just so you know. It's got some violence. It's got some language. It's got a little bit of adult theming to it, and I always kind of wondered what the heck does adult themes mean? Like, adult themes, like, you can only be an adult to understand these themes, but I think it has to do with sex and sexual exploitations and such. But there is a little bit of that in there. It's actually a pretty cool film. I know a lot of you, well, most of you have not seen it, but, if you have, that means you were at the premiere that we had back in January when life was still normal. And life today is just not normal. Let's just be honest about that. Life is pretty far from normal. As I sit here on the last day of March, and thank goodness it's the last day of March, meaning, maybe the start of April will begin where we, as a country, as a world, start to heal and get past this coronavirus. No matter which side of the ledger that you fall on when it comes to coronavirus, one thing is undoubtable is that it has completely messed with our lives, our livelihood, our ability to go out and just do things that we're normally out there doing. Especially right now, the weather is getting better. The leaves are coming back on the trees. At least here in Georgia, that's what's happening. I don't know, kind of anywhere else north, but here, we have the pollen thing happening and, and whatnot. But, ultimately, we will get past it. We will eventually go back to normal, or whatever our new normal is. I've heard that a lot, saying, oh, the world's never going to be the same. This is our new normal. And it's like, well, is it really our new normal? Or is it just, right now it feels like it's going to be our new normal? And when I say the new normal, that means that people are going to practice washing their hands every day, multiple times a day. That means, the handshake thing, because people aren't handshaking now. I mean, and all these different things that we've kind of done. Social distancing, the guaranteed word of 2020 is going to be social distancing, or the phrase, if you want to say it's not just a word, but a phrase. Social distancing will be the thing that's remembered from 2020. I actually went to I'm not trying not to look into the camera because that's just weird, and there's like a green light here, and I can't stand looking into it. So if I'm looking around, it's just because, well, I have nothing else to do except for either I'm going to stare at you like this the entire time and look like a weirdo, or I'm just going to kind of like drift off. But I went the other day to a electronics store. My new puppy, his name is Marley. He decided he wanted to eat my power cord for my laptop, and I, obviously can't live without a laptop, especially being homebound like I am. So, basically, had to go there. I had to go. My wife and I went down and everything. It was kind of interesting because they only were allowing 20 people at a time into this electronics store, and when you walk up, you have to register, give them your name, your phone number, and then they'll send you a text message, and then the text message confirms that they got you on. They'll tell you where you are in the line, and, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually, you get a text saying, okay, you can come in, and they have a security guard at the front, and you have to show the text message to the security guard, and then they let you in. And then it's fairly normal. You get a guy comes up, kind of walks you around, and shows you or takes you wherever you need to go. And the idea that, I think, is to kind of get you in and out as quickly as possible. So that way, if somebody goes up there, greets you, gets you to whatever you're looking for, shows you exactly where it is, so that way you're just not kind of randomly walking around the store and all that sort of thing. And it's good because it also gets you, I mean, I was literally in and out in, less than 10 minutes. So that was kind of nice. But, again, I don't know what a new normal will be. I don't know if people will go back to handshaking. I don't know if people will go back to, just kind of washing their hands after they go to the bathroom, or, hopefully you do wash your hands after you go to the bathroom, because otherwise that's kind of gross. But I don't know exactly what that's going to mean. I don't know what that's going to mean for me. I don't know what that's going to mean for you. I don't know what's going to mean for the world. I don't know. I am expecting a major baby boom to happen. Whenever, like way back in the day when they had the baby boom, I kind of expect that happens. Meaning I think that we'll have baby boom 2. And, and why? Is because you're stuck. A lot of people, I can still go out. Like in Georgia, at least where I live, we're not on a lockdown. We're not on a, stay-at-home mandate order, anything like that. We're basically, I don't want to say living a normal life, because it's not true. I mean, like, I want to go out to dinner so flipping bad, and actually go into a restaurant, sit down and eat, and, and tip a waitress or a waiter, like, way too much money to sit there and eat for, a half hour. I miss it. So part of the what do you miss and what do you what can you look forward to? segment in a little while, that's a spoiler because that's one of the things that I miss the most is being able to actually go out and have a dinner somewhere. I mean, I'm jonesing for some Olive Garden. Anybody else joneses for some Olive Garden? And I mean, listen, yes, I can go to Olive Garden, which is what we might end up doing tonight. I don't know. You can go to Olive Garden. You can buy your food. They'll give it to you. You can take it home. You can sit, and eat it. But it's not the same, especially because I like the breadsticks. I like the breadsticks and Alfredo sauce. Yes, I know I can order and take it with me, but it's not the same thing. It's not the same as like when they bring you that basket out, right? And the roll, the biscuits or the breadsticks are nice and hot and everything, and you dip it in the breadstick and the Alfredo sauce, and then you sit there and just eat it. I'm a multi dipper, so if you eat with me, you're gonna get multi dipped because I just don't like to do that. But actually, what we end up doing as a family, everybody else around the table, scoops out what they want and put it on their plate, so that way I can just have a thing and just keep dipping and dipping and dipping. I'm a little impatient when it comes to the breadsticks because I like them. I am fat for a reason. No, I'm just kidding. But it's just not the same. It's not the same going and eating out. I will say, though, I have forced me to fix a lot more food at home, so that's kind of a good thing, I guess. But anyways, that's one of the biggest things that I look forward to is when this is finally over with, to get back to whatever that new normal is going to be, which I think the new normal is going to be like a lot of the same of the old normal. I think it might take a little bit of time to get there. I think that there might be just a little bit of a, hesitancy from people to want to shake hands or, the social distancing people, but ultimately, I think that eventually it will go back pretty much about the same as what it was before this whole thing started. People are doing some incredibly nice things for each other, and that's awesome to see. It's been really kind of one of the nice things is just to see the humanity and the humanitarian efforts that has gone in. Companies who normally don't make like those respirator masks and things like that. We actually have some of the N95 masks, and I was actually thinking about coming on one day, and I was just gonna wear the mask the whole time, just because I thought it would be kind of cool to do, and show practice of safe broadcasting. So that way, you guys can't get coronavirus from me, though. It's probably not a good thing if that were to happen. But anyways, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, hopefully you are safe. Hopefully you are healthy. Hopefully you are practicing the safe social distancing and things that they're requesting that we do. I was reading an article a little while ago that said the CDC may require people who go out to wear a mask at all times to help, continue to slow this thing down. And then I've read other places where they say, look, their expected plateau on this is right before the middle of April. God, this month has been so long. It's almost like I'm so happy it's the last day of March, just so I can stop saying it's freaking March. It's been the longest 3 weeks ever. But in the month of April, they say that they hope that the plateau will start flattening that curve, as they say, and then as that curve gets flattened and the cases start to shrink down, more people start to recover. Hopefully, the deaths stay like really low. I know that that's always a major factor of things, but ultimately, hopefully, just some things will start to go back to a normal place. So hopefully you guys are doing well. I'm doing okay. Everybody in my family is doing pretty good. Nobody's sick in this household, which is great. We have obviously with the pollen. So if you hear any kind of congestion or me going like that, that's just literally because my car right now, which is usually black, is kind of a puke green, currently speaking. That's just how it is. Because, well, again, pollen this time of the year, it's really bad. And it usually kind of clears up somewhere in the end of April, I think, somewhere in that neighborhood. So ultimately, it won't last forever. It won't be here forever. And I don't think coronavirus will be here forever. If you want to believe certain people, you can also say that, hey, ultimately, coronavirus is going to probably go away around the same time that the flu would go away. Let's just be hopeful that that's the case, okay? So, anyways, we're gonna roll right into our first topic. I am gonna take kind of some breaks throughout this ordeal. I'm not gonna just stand here and talk the entire time. A couple things. If you happen to be watching this at any point in time, if you have a band or if you are a musician or if you know somebody who's in a band, somebody's a musician, they want to have their music played during these broadcasts, just send me a private message, a DM as they call it, on Facebook Messenger, and say, hey, I have a band, or I'm in a band, or I am a musician, or I'm just kind of knocking stuff over here because, I just get so excited and start using my hands and it goes crazy and it goes wacky. But that's okay because I can still keep on talking and fix my stuff all at the same time. It's all good. I got to go get like a little Allen wrench to tighten that thing down because it keeps wanting to fall down, which is my microphone stand. My microphone's actually like right over here. I'm almost touching it, as you can see on there. You can see this little muff looking thing. That's the microphone, and it's on this stand. And I should have just gotten one of the other stands. It's probably been smarter for me to do that because this one, the way it's so far away from me, it doesn't really matter. But if you are in a band, or if you know somebody's in a band and they want to have your music played, send me a private message. Say, hey, I have some music. I would like for you to play it while you're doing these shows and whatever. That would be cool. I'm accepting those in. If you are a producer, a film producer, TV series producer, director, actor, whatever, if you would like to do interviews, we're going to be scheduling people to do interviews throughout the course of the next however long I'm going to do this. Pretty much going to do this till I go back to work, my regular job. Who knows when that's going to be? Could be May, could be June, could be July. Who knows? Once this thing is done and business starts going back up, I'll go back to work. Pretty much that's how it's going to work. And then... so this is the opportunity to be able to show your stuff. Also, besides showing Secluded this Saturday, at some point in time, we're going to start doing interviews with the cast and crew of the Rejects Club. For those of you who know about the Rejects Club, so we're going to be showing you that. And then we got 7 episodes of the web series of the Rejects Club that we're going to be showing you. And with that being said, I'm going to show you a little clip. This is from our original pilot series of the Rejects Club, and basically the web series leads into the pilot episode, and this is just some clip of the Rejects Club, so that way you get just a little idea if you're not familiar with it as of yet, which if you've watched my stuff at all, I don't know how you could possibly not be, but hey, we're going to have some new people to be coming and watching this here and there every once in a while. So with that being said, sit back. And it's about 5 minutes long, and then when we come back, we're going to get into our topical stuff. And I'm going to take a quick break, and here you go.
Make way for Queen Natalie.
I have to go next. I've got a lot of homework to work on, and Miss Allison already knows how talented I am, so I'll be in and out real quick.
But, ouch. Hey, Devin.
Matt,
How was your audition?
I killed it, like always.
I got the lead.
Congrats,
oh my
babe.
God, I can't believe it. I mean, I can, but I'm thrilled.
I am Spartacus, ruler of Rome.
Congratulations, my lord.
Hey, thanks, Alexa. What role did you get?
Lady Victoria. And she's madly in love with Spartacus, so seems like we'll be working closely together.
Well, congratulations. You really deserved it.
Stop. You're making me blush.
Oh, this should be good.
I walk this path alone, a self-inflicted isolation to sort through my brain. No matter where I roam, I'm always looking for elation to keep me sane. Another day
So, what are you guys doing later? You want to come over to my house tonight?
Sure, as long as your mom doesn't make me eat a famous meatloaf again.
Miss Allison posted the cast list. Come on.
This is it.
Great. We're your three.
Nice job. I think that might just be the worst role in the show. I mean, not even Warrior 1 or 2. You got Warrior 3.
Shut up, bro. I'm still bigger than you.
Stop.
Don't look so sad. There's always next year, kiddos.
Bye, guys.
This sucks and you all know it.
Well, what are we supposed to do? We all knew who was gonna get the lead parts.
Yeah, and I mean, the cast list has already been posted.
Yeah, it's not like we can make our own production or anything.
Wait. Why can't we?
Why can't we what?
Make our own production. Our own show.
But
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Listen, I overheard everything that you said to Allison. Sounds like you guys are in a really tough spot. But did you honestly think that you could put on your own production? I mean, who would be your actors? All the good ones are in our show. And we have the crew. And Allison's definitely not going to be your director. Listen, kid. I run this school. And this program is mine. And this is about to be my best performance yet. So you and your little friends need to back off. Because if you don't, I will crush you like the little bug that you are.
And it's going to really sting when we pull off a better performance than yours.
Ugh!
Just wait.
Seeing watercolor sunsets and your silhouette. It's like a thing in my head, and now I cannot forget. How you said hello, how you kissed me goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Now time is running out. I watch as it slips right through my hands. And yes, we will be alright, but we won't see tonight.
And there you have it, the preview of the Rejects Club. And like I said, the 7-episode web series prequel. I say prequel. The prequel is basically the episodes that happened before what you just witnessed happened. And that's really kind of just not really, there's a lot of context there. It's just kind of showing you that hey, there's a click, there's a rejects. Which side do you kind of go on? You can see the side. Each side can be very talented. But the story is a lot deeper than that. What we have written, and we're still trying to sell the show, so we're trying to get it out there to hopefully be able to bring the whole series out as we have it written. It is a really good series, I think. It was created by my daughter. I helped basically when she told me about it, I took it from there and kind of helped put it all together. But it's been a year and a half. Seems like a lot longer than that, but we really kind of started it last July. So it's going to be coming up to 2 years here in the real near future that we've been living in this world of rejects. I can't wait until the day that it becomes where everybody can kind of see. But in the very near future, we are going to show those 7 episodes. Those are done. Those are in the can. Those are ready to go. And we are going to show all 7 episodes. It's the Ella episode, Andy episode, Jackson, Natalie, Jace, Clay, and Maybell. We had a premiere for it back in January again when life was still fairly normal, and it was pretty cool to be a part of. It's an honor to have worked with all the cast, all the crew. You guys are going to get to see an interview, have interviews with all of them. That's going to be a lot of fun, so stay tuned for that. But for now, let's move forward. I wanted to kind of put together a listing of films to watch during the coronavirus, films and TV series. And I kind of thought about this because, well, one, I'm a big movie guy. Today's my now second day of isolation, as they say, where I'm not going to work. They told us to not come back until this thing is done. So here I am, hence why I'm doing this. So this is my second day. A lot of people have been already doing this for a couple of weeks now. Kudos to you. If I didn't have this to do, I'd probably be sleeping right now. I'd probably be taking my fifth nap of the day, trying to clean the house. I do have projects that we're going to be doing throughout the course of time while we're here. Again, my guess is that I'm going to go back to work sometime in May, maybe early part of June, mid-June, something like that. That's my guess. So, hey, I got a month and a half, 2 months of being able to just kind of sit here and do what I do. And I haven't done a regular type of broadcast in a really long time. So I'm excited to do it. Hopefully we'll have special guests along the way, people who will be kind of just wanting to hang out with me for an hour or whatever I'm going to do per day and that sort of deal. I already have a few people lined up. Just got to work out some dates with them to do it. Like I said, we already have the secluded thing that's coming up, the reject stuff that's coming up. And then I actually have been contacted by a couple filmmakers already who want to help supply some stuff. So we're going to put a lot of stuff out here in the course of the next little while. I may end up moving it to more of a centralized page than my own personal. I only do it on my own personal just because I have the most amount of people on there currently. But I may end up streaming it over on the Rejects Facebook page as well. And right now it's also on our YouTube page for Rejects Club. So right now I am streaming it in multiple places, so that's good. But we will see if that holds. I kind of feel like I'm losing my voice a little bit. So not my voice, but like the clarity. So I don't know if it's still broadcasting right or whatever, because this thing has been kind of acting funky over the last couple days. See, I just touched it and now it sounds much better. I gotta turn myself down. Wow, that's really loud. So anyways, moving forward, hopefully you guys are still here and everything just well and whatnot. I'm gonna have to figure out why all of a sudden this board started doing this. I really don't know why. It's just really funky. But films that I would recommend to watch while we're living the apocalypse. I picked 3 of new release movies. I've seen all 3 of these. I picked 3 new release movies. If you haven't seen them yet, highly recommend watching them. The first one we just watched. We did an outdoor movie night in front of our house. We shot it in the garage. If you go to my personal Facebook page, you'll see we actually posted a picture. But the movie we watched was Onward. This is a pretty good movie. It's a good family movie, so you could have the whole family to watch it with you. It's pretty good. I would say that it's ultimately an average, a little above average movie. That's like the Disney Pixar kind of a thing. It's probably a little bit above average, but the ending is what makes it for me. The ending's really nice. It's really well done. The story, kind of wraps up in, the whole story as it kind of goes through. Makes you feel good, makes you go, all right, that was pretty solid. Kids liked it. My wife liked it. We currently have our 89-year-old mother-in-law living with us, so she really enjoyed it. The dogs, we had them all out there. It was the whole family. I mean, literally, my house is pretty crazy. I'm trying not to get too personal, but my house is pretty crazy. We have 9 living souls living here. 9, meaning there is myself, my wife, got 3 kids who all still live here, even though one of them's old enough to go out and live on his own, but he hasn't done it yet. That's okay. My other daughter's gonna be graduating next year. The other one's still just a new teenager. Then, like I said, my mother-in-law, and then we have 3 dogs. So, like I said, 9 total souls that are living here, and they all enjoyed it. We were all out there all at the same time, and everybody had a good time with it. So, like I said, we really had a good time. It was such a nice night out there. It was one of those, the daytime, it was 80-some degrees. It was beautiful. And then nighttime, it was 70. We had a fire. We did some s'mores. and just kind of just hung out. It was kind of nice. We watched Onward. You know, it just came out on Disney, digital release, so we watched it. Another movie that I would recommend, one of the new releases, is the Harley Quinn movie. I know this movie got like awkwardly. It wasn't panned by critics because they all seemed to like it. It was just ignored by a lot of people, and I don't understand why. Whether if it was that you didn't know that it exists because it had this whole big crazy long title, the Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. I don't even remember what it was all by now. Just it's the Harley Quinn movie, Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, however you want to say it. Go watch this movie. It's really good. I know Margot Robbie, who played Harley Quinn in the movie, was like literally born and raised to play Harley Quinn. She did a phenomenal job in it. It is a pretty solid movie overall. It's a lot better than Suicide Squad. So if you saw Suicide Squad and you were worried about this one, don't. It's really good. So feel free to go and watch it. And then the last one would be The Invisible Man. I highly recommend The Invisible Man. It was really pretty solid. It's kind of like horror, but it's not over the top horror. It's more of like a thriller. It makes you kind of think, and that sort of thing. And then, every once in a while it gives you like a little jump and, you go, okay, cool. But it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. Well, actually it might have been the last movie I saw in the theater was The Invisible Man. I'm pretty sure that it was. So I highly recommend going to see these three films. I believe that they're all available to watch online for on demand or whatever. Definitely go watch these three movies. Give it all the high praise that I possibly can. Really good. Now, if you're looking for some older films, some of these are going to be like, no doubters. But I think that based on the time and the situation that we got going on, if you're just trying to find a way to pass some time, at least for me, these are some films that I think that you should watch, rewatch if you haven't seen them in a while. I try not to include too many brand new movies, or movies that's been out in the last year. I really try to just include some stuff, whether if it's because in my opinion, when you're in this situation, you have to have things that don't remind you of your everyday life. Meaning you don't want to have something that reminds you every single day that we're fighting a global pandemic, a global thing across the world. No matter where you are in this world, somebody somewhere is fighting it. Yes, some people are fighting it more harshly than others. Even here in the U.S., New York. God bless the people in New York because that is just, you watch those numbers and how they've gone up. It is crazy. Here in Georgia, I think we just passed over 3,000 as of yesterday. But still, it pales in comparison to the 60-some thousand that's going on in New York. You're at home. You're trying to hunker down. You're trying just to stay away from it. As they say, the social distancing, stay at home. Don't go out unless you absolutely have to, kind of thing. So these are some films that helps me. As a matter of fact, right before I came on here, or a little bit early whenever I was doing a test, I started watching it, and when I'm done, I'm going to go finish watching it. But the movie Speed. I don't know if you remember this movie. It was with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's got a ton of action. It's got some comedy. It's funny, but it's just good, heart-pounding action from top to bottom. Great movie. Go watch it. If you haven't seen it in a while, go watch it again. It is really good. I also recommend going and seeing Spider-Man. Now, I know when I say Spider-Man, you go, which one? There's several. The Spider-Man that I would recommend, don't get me wrong, the latest ones with Tom Holland is really, really good. Very solid movies, and that sort of deal. But the ones one I would recommend to go watch is the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. I would recommend that all day long because that is, I don't want to say it's the original, even though it kind of is, at least in this genre of superhero movie. But the Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, by far, go and watch that movie. It is really good. And it's one of those, when you watch it, you're going, wow, this was a really solidly made film. And this was even before they kind of done in the superhero genre they do now. If you're looking for a really good family movie that you probably haven't seen in a while, go watch the movie Up. And I said Up. So, Up. Go watch that movie. If you haven't seen it in a while, go watch it again. It's a solid family movie. makes you feel good. Rides the emotional roller coaster, as I like to say. You got the ups, the downs. It really is just a solid overall film that I highly recommend for sure. As a matter of fact, I may end up watching this film in the next couple of days. I may watch it. If you're looking for something actiony, really, really action movie, I would go and rewatch Terminator 2. Now, yes, the original Terminator is really good. It's a great film, and people say that it's much better than any other ones that have ever come out. But to me, Terminator 2, by far, is the absolute best, by far. And like I said, when I say by far, I mean by far. Terminator 2 is the best Terminator movie that has ever been made and will probably ever be made. I do actually like the new Terminator, the one that just came out. If you haven't seen that yet, if I can move that one up into the new releases category, I would say go watch it. It is if you forget about the original Terminator 3, Terminator Genesis, Terminator Salvation, all those other ones that came out, forget about all of those. The original Terminator 3 wasn't too bad. But the newest Terminator is probably the closest to a real sequel to 1 and 2. And it's pretty solid. I would definitely recommend that. Another family movie that's, a little naughty is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You have to go watch that movie. I mean, that movie, again, these are films to watch because of the times, because of what we're living in, helps pass the time. These are movies that kind of live with you a little bit. So that's why I'm recommending these ones specifically. Go watch that. Go watch Ghostbusters. If you haven't seen Ghostbusters in a while, go watch Ghostbusters. Obviously, one of the best movies ever made. Definitely go watch that. Another family movie to watch, and I say this because, again, people have families and things for you to watch together. There's the more adult type of things. There's the stuff for guys. There's the stuff for ladies. There's the stuff to watch together. There's stuff to watch with the kids. So I'm trying to give you kind of a polling of all of them that you can kind of watch. But I definitely would recommend going and watching as a family. Finding Nemo. If you haven't seen that movie in a while, Finding Nemo was a pretty good movie. Solid, heartfelt, really well put together. So that's definitely a movie I would definitely recommend to go watch. If you are just chilling out by yourself, meaning you just want to kind of hang out and just chill. I don't know. Maybe you're a person who partakes in some alcohol during the day. I guarantee you at one of these shows I'll be drinking. I promise you that. I can already tell you I will definitely be drinking on at least one of these shows, probably several of them. But this one, if you like to drink, get high, whatever it is, the movie Friday, the Ice Cube and Ice Cube film. Watch that again. It's been a long while since I've seen it, but it always will stick out in my mind. That's one of the go-tos if I'm bored and I want to just watch a funny movie and just kind of be entertained for an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, whatever it is. The movie Friday, it's like, Craig, I'm gonna get you high today because it's Friday. You ain't got no job and you ain't got shit to do. So, gotta watch Friday. It's good. A newer movie that actually is really entertaining. If you've not seen this film, I highly recommend it. It's really good. It's entertaining. It will pass the time. It will help pass the time. The movie Fighting With My Family, which is essentially based on WWE superstar Paige. It's her family life and her coming into pro wrestling and a bit of her journey to become a star within WWE. It's called Fighting With My Family. I highly recommend that movie because it was really good, and it's very enjoyable. So I definitely recommend that if you haven't seen it before. Definitely one of those movies. It's kind of a good date movie. I think women can like it just as much as the men can like it. I think it's kind of a good, like I always say, like I like the movie The Devil Wears Prada, right? I like it. It's classified as a chick flick, but it's one of those movies if you're a guy, you can watch. It's pretty solid. So, another one that I probably didn't have on here that I probably should have, I would say A Devil Wears Prada, but Fighting With My Family fits within that category. One of my all-time favorite movies. Absolute all-time favorite movies I put on here, obviously, Groundhog's Day with Bill Murray and Andy McDowell. I love this movie. This one is especially coronavirus on this list because of that. Because, again, I think that especially for the people who've already been kind of hunkered down for the last few weeks, probably feel like your life is a Groundhog Day right now. And, you know, even as that term has kind of come about, it's like, you know, hey, it's Groundhog Day. And, you know, it's day in and day out. It's the same thing and trying to figure out different ways to do the same things and, you know, just try to survive. So in this particular case, Groundhog Day, really good film to watch, especially in a coronavirus environment, because it'll make you feel like, hey, I know his pain right now. Another set of movies, this is 2 movies, Deadpool. I mean, God. Deadpool 1 was amazing. Deadpool 2 is still pretty good. You know, just go watch those movies if you haven't seen them before. That kind of goes with a film that I just watched. It took me a long while to go and see it, but I finally did. It's the movie A Quiet Place. I just watched this movie, I think 2 weeks ago. I just watched it for the very first time, even though it's been out for a while. And I wanted to watch it before the sequel came out, because obviously I want to go see the sequel. And I'm glad I did. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It makes me want to see the sequel, even though it got pushed back, and who knows when it's going to get actually released. I'm going to guess the fall. It'll probably get released at this point. But, you know, that's one of those movies, if you haven't seen it like me, go watch it. Feel free. It's a good movie. And then the last one, not really the last one I'm going to talk about, but the last one in the older films category, Independence Day. This movie, I haven't seen it in a while. I'm going to watch it because, again, like, you know, I'm trying to, like, put together a list of movies that I want to personally watch and want to see. This is one of them. Like I said, Speed, which kind of led off this list. I was actually watching. I'm going to go finish it whenever I'm done. But Independence Day, fantastic movie. From top to bottom, I loved it. I loved everything about it. The science fiction of it, the you know, some comedy elements, the action elements, the, you know, the dramatics and the peril elements, all of that really good. So Independence Day, I highly recommend for sure. Now, if you're one of those people who are into the slow play, meaning like you want to have something you can kind of watch and draw it out a bit. These are series films, meaning these are some films that's a part of a long series, and you can watch it. I mean, the first one I'm going to mention alone, if you watch one every night, you know, it would be over a week, and that's the Fast and Furious series. I know a lot of people, some of my friends that I talk to, they don't like it or they never want to watch it because to them it's mind-numbingly, not boring. It's definitely not a boring movie, but it's mind-numbingly dumb. But that's the point. Like, literally, I think that a movie like Fast and Furious, if you try to make it too serious, or if they take themselves too seriously, it's going to fail miserably. Why? Because ultimately, it's supposed to be what it is. It's a fun movie. You know, it gets bigger, it gets bigger, it gets bigger, it gets more unrealistic. That's fine. Who cares? It's a fun movie. It's a fun series. Go watch it. You have the time. Another one, which this one's a classic. Unfortunately, there's only 3. Or no, I'm sorry, there's 4. No, there's 5, but I don't count the last one. So there's 4. And that's the Die Hard series. Obviously started off with the Bruce Willis #1, whether if it's a holiday film or not, who cares? It's a great movie. Die Hard 2 in the airport, loved it. Die Hard 3 with a vengeance, enjoyed it immensely. And then the 4th one, I actually really enjoyed the last one with Justin Long. I actually really enjoyed that one. I don't know if it was kind of because it had a little bit more of a real world feeling to it. I don't know if it was because of that or whatever the case happens to be. All I know is it was really enjoyable. So go watch the entire series. You got 4 of them. Forget the 5th one. The one I think he goes to Russia or something. Don't watch that one. No good. But the other 4, have a good time. The entire Marvel's full Avengers series. I'm talking from the start. Iron Man, all the way through Avengers Endgame, and everything in between. There's some movies that you can skip if it doesn't, you know, catch your fancy. Thor, for me, I didn't really capture my fancy a whole lot. Doctor Strange, wasn't really a big fan of those. But, you know, again, you can watch them. Ant-Man, you can watch. Ant-Man 2, I think you have to watch for the end credit scene alone. You have to watch for that just because it kind of gives you something that, you know, goes on. But again, you have the time. Watch the whole series from beginning to end, from Iron Man to Avengers Endgame. Watch the whole thing. Just watch the whole thing. It's really, mostly all the way through pretty solid. Another series like Die Hard, the Lethal Weapon series. There's 4 of them. I know they keep saying that they're talking about doing a 5th one. Not 100% sure if I'm totally into it or not, but I'll watch it just because it's Lethal Weapon and it's one of my favorite series. So go watch the Lethal Weapon series. It's really good. I promise you'll enjoy it. And I'm sure most of you have seen it, but go watch it again is the idea here, as well as the Back to the Future series. If you haven't seen it in a while, all 3 of them, go watch it. It's fantastic. You'll enjoy it. Now, if you're looking for some TV series to watch, I'll give you 3 that I would recommend. The first one being Friday Night Lights. If you've not seen Friday Night Lights, and this is the TV series version of, it's not really has anything to do with movies, but if you haven't seen this series, go and watch it. I beg of you. It is so good. You know, the fact that it lasted for 5 seasons was amazing enough as it is, because while critically it was, you know, it was like loved. I mean, you know, it didn't win any awards, which is weird because considering how loved it was, especially amongst the critics, never won any awards. But just for some reason, it never quite found its audience. But it's so good. Go watch it. Highly recommended all the way through. Great series. Another one, it may have lost its luster a little bit because I think that watching it as it was happening made it more interesting than maybe if you watch it again, or if you watch it for the first time, which is the series Lost. When Lost first came out, I mean, I remember actually having conversations with my buddy, Jim, and he goes, man, I hope this series lasts. It looks so good. You know, the first episode, amazing episode. The pilot was just fantastic, you know, and everything kind of going along with the you know, the whole ancient, you know, thing, and being able to do research on some stuff that they were putting in there, and you know, and everything, and all the way through the ending, it was great. The web series stuff that they put out, you know, that was kind of life lives inside of it. The whole thing, it was really good. I don't know if watching it now would be as good, but maybe if you've never seen it and you've always wanted to watch it, like I said, you got the time, watch it. And then the last one that I would recommend in the TV series category. It's now just finished up its 10th season, is the show Shameless. Shameless is what it is. It's a shameless show about a family who doesn't hold back to survive. Fantastic show. It's got everything in it that you could possibly want. It has comedy. It has drama. It has nudity. Not even just from other actresses. I'm talking about like the stars of the show, you know, kind of get nude a lot in it, which is unusual for any show or series. Emmy Rossum was, I mean, amazing in this show. William Macy, a lot of people don't realize William Macy is in this show. You know, and it's such a good show from start to end. I've been trying to tell my buddy Jim to watch it, and then I've just told my dad to watch it. Great series. If you are a movie fan at all, that is the series to watch. And there's some movies to stay away from. I just want to throw this out there really quick. This is going way longer than I expected, which is good. But some movies to stay away from because of COVID-19, this coronavirus outbreak. Stay away from these films. Outbreak, Contagion, Fatal Attraction, 12 Monkeys, the whole Resident Evil series, 28 Days Later. And this one actually kind of pained me a little bit. But The Rock. Not the You Smell with the Rock. No, The Rock with Nicolas Cage. I love that movie. It's one of my best. But right now in this time, probably not the best thing to watch, all things considered, where we are today. So with that is your full listing of movies to watch. Some to stay away from. But highly recommended because of what we have going on in the world right now. I think that they are all things that if you haven't watched, you need to go and make sure that you watch. And if you have watched it, well, then watch it again. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
I
chances to fall victim
to ties that bind me.
I move without a sound, another act of desperation
To try and find me, another demon infiltrates my soul to darken my life, searching for a sign, destiny untold. I'm flying blind through all the wrong and all the right that I have come to make. Resilience a foundation that will decide my fate. Another demon infiltrates my soul to darken my life, searching for a sign, destiny untold. I'm flying blind. Ooh, come fly with me. I'm flying blind.
All right, well, there you have Flying Blind, performed by the cast and crew of the Rejects Club. Figure if you haven't heard it before and in its entirety, I know we showed that video a little while ago and you kind of heard a little bit of it in that little sizzle reel trailer that we showed. But I figured, hey, why not? We'll show you something else, or let you listen to something else from the series, so you guys get excited about it. All right, so I gotta kind of skip over a topic because I do want to end it too, and that's only in like 7 minutes from now, and I want to get this out. So here's a visual poem from a gentleman who sent me an email earlier today to say, hey, I have a visual poem. It kind of talks about the coronavirus, since we've talked about it quite a bit today. Not every episode is going to be about coronavirus. As a matter of fact, I want to try to get away from it as much as humanly possible. So starting tomorrow, again, myself, Ryan Manley, Elizabeth Ellis will be talking filmmaking and things of that nature. So kind of be hanging out for that tomorrow. That'll be at 3 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you come and see it at 3 p.m. Eastern. We may replay it later that night, but at 3 p.m. Eastern, we'll be streaming that live. So you want to make sure you come and check that out. But he sent me this poem, and he said this is very much relevant to today. So if you would share it. His name is Andrew Contreras. You can see it at the bottom of the screen. And his website is right there at the below. It's www.acontrerasfilm.co.uk. Obviously, he's a United Kingdom's fellow. So go and check that out. And if you happen to message him, say, hey, we heard you on this today, or whatever you happen to hear it, let him know that you did. And this is his visual poem for, hopefully I'm picking the right one. I got to make sure I write these down, which numbers these are. But this is the visual poem for Andrew.
Empieza nuestra cuarentena, la madre naturaleza nos condena, y las ciudades más populadas ya fantasmales en la escena. Robamos de las colmenas, transformamos con cadenas, como algo tan diminuto paralizó nuestros sistemas. ¿Será que somos más pequeños y que de esta no somos dueños? Las plantas ya no saben si llegó el otoño o primavera, si el oxígeno que huelen es más puro que antes era. Cuatro paredes desesperan, a naciones en espera, condiciones novedosas en un mundo que se altera. Algunos arriesgan vidas, otros las desperdician. El tiempo nos pone en sitio, con principios, sin avaricia. La noticia es que los héroes ya no llevan capa, sino bata blanca como nieve virgen que las montañas limpias tapa. Los mares escupen plástico, las nubes lloran monóxido, oxidados los mecanismos que a la tierra han lastrado. Gobernadores trazan muros con cables invisibles. Lo más preciado no es palpable, son los bienes intangibles. Es el momento de valorar lo que tenemos dentro de casa. Olvidamos que la vida no se vive mirando a pantallas opacas. La paciencia, la unión, la pasión, el amor amordazan al miedo, dejan ciego al dolor. En tiempos grises donde la humanidad se besa a distancia, donde una carta es digital y contiene caras que hacen gracia. Son tiempos de reflexión con oportunidades artísticas, tiempos de acción con nuestra conexión y cualidades científicas. Añoramos la libertad como animales enjaulados, y esta jaula, ¿quién nos la puso? Creo que fueron los humanos.
All right. Well, I didn't know it was not in English, but hey, that's okay. It doesn't really matter a whole lot. Again, it was a visual poem, so hopefully you got the visual of it. Anyways, I want to thank everybody for joining me today. I promise it will get better. That's the good news about it. And again, we'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern for filmmaking. And myself, Ryan Manley, and Elizabeth Ellis will be here discussing a whole lot of stuff. So stay tuned. And thank you guys for hanging out for a little while. I'm Eric. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
In an episode of SNL, busted on the TV. You ugly girl, you cannot sing, can't even lip sync. Apparently money can even buy you dignity. Everyone will forget in a couple of days. It doesn't matter what they say in the press. I guess I'm not the only one feeling the itch, cause they're giving away the Billboard Awards to some phony little. So what would you know about how your song goes? Just let that tape roll. So many people are coming and stupid, and all they wanna do is get in. I know that your parents are brother and sister and idioties. Let the hunting begin, let the hunting begin, let the hunting begin, let the hunting begin. Maybe joking by you said a bigger tits. Apologize to the world and admit that you were wrong. Who is thinking you have to suck to get the #1 song? So what would you know about how your song goes? Just